Hey guys, Cody with CJC Off-Road. Today's video is going to be about answering one of the most common questions we get from Ram 2500 and 3500 owners. That is going to be, which track bar do I go with, the Carli suspension or the Thuren fabrication? Today's video is going to be a breakdown of basically the differences between the track bars and why these two are our favorite track bars on the market. Personally, I've ran both of these track bars and given them a thumbs up. I've actually bought and sold different trucks along the years and actually swapped both Thuren and Carli track bars from different trucks as I've owned them. And I have had extremely good luck with both of them, and I think overall performance-wise, you cannot go wrong with either. However, they are two different products from two different manufacturers, and they're two different price points, so we want to do a quick breakdown for you guys. This video is going to cover 03 to current trucks. Now, there are some slight differences from the years, which I'll get into, and that slight difference changes from brand, so try and stick with me here. At its core, these bars are actually very similar, but there are definitely some unique characteristics that each brand has. Starting with the overall size of the tube used, they both use a 3/8 wall tube and a black powder coat finish. That is pretty standard when you're looking at quality components. That 3/8 wall, however, is something that is pretty much unique to Carli and Thuren fabrication. A lot of the other brands out there choose to use thinner materials. Some will even play word games with gauges, things like that. Just keep in mind, these are going to be the thickest wall track bars on the market. Moving to the axle side, you're going to have the Heim joint. That is also going to be the adjustment point for both brands. They're both going to use the highest quality FK Heim joints. Now, every once in a while we get comments on some of these videos about Heim joints and bad luck, things like that. 99.9% of Heim joint issues out there are just not tightening that jam nut. So that is where a couple of the differences are going to come into play. Thuren fabrication actually presets that Heim joint on the 2014 and up track bars because for those trucks, it is very important to land on their measurement number. Carli suspension uses a tapered jam nut similar to what you'd experience on a lug nut. And what happens with that tapered jam nut, you have more engagement there for the jam nut to grab the bar, in which case it is harder for that to work itself loose. We are now going to be offering pretty much from the point of this video forward a crow's foot that customers can use to tighten these properly. So if you don't have the tools, we will be including a simple device to help torque the track bar. Again, the Heim joint that is going to be on both the Carli and Thuren fabrication track bar are the highest quality FK Heim joints. That is another thing that some manufacturers will use. They will mention a Heim joint, but as often an import, not Teflon line, things like that. They're pretty low quality. These are gonna be the best Heim joints on the market. The same thing that you're gonna see on the videos of a Baja 1000 trophy truck, things like that. You're not gonna wear that joint out when it is torqued properly. Now moving to the frame end, that is where we see a few more differences between these two track bars. Thuren fabrication uses a very high quality Delrin bushing that has a greasable zerk that is also attached to the housing, which does allow you to grease the bushing. Like I said, I have had really good luck with the Delrin bushings that Thuren uses on their track bars. I've run them from third gen to third gen. I had about 3 in a row where I moved that track bar truck to truck. Never had any steering issues, and it remained a very tight front end. Now, the typical bushing design that Thuren uses is something that Carli had used for a long time. They wanted to move to a little bit different of a joint, and that's where they came up with the Carli suspension cub joint. Now, if you look at a picture online, you might think that that is essentially just a Heim joint or a uniball in the end of the bar. It is not quite that simple. It is essentially a uniball, which if you could picture is a Heim without the threaded portion. So it is a uniball, also from FK, a made in America joint that is then encapsulated in a proprietary polymer type bushing material. With that said, that is why both of these brands opted not to put Heims at both ends. You do want some kind of absorbing material, again, hard impacts, curbs, off-road activities, things like that, and that both of these track bars have some kind of absorption material. The Carli bar is a little bit more. That is because there's a little bit more to the bar, right? There's a cub joint, which is an expensive joint versus a Delrin bushing. Now that pretty much sums up the major differences between these two bars. Moving on to some of the small things. If you do have a third generation or fourth generation truck, the Thuren fabrication option, you're required to select whether you're going to use 14 or 16 millimeter bolts, or you need to buy both sets of sleeves. Now, if you have an 03 to 08 truck roughly, you're going to have these smaller sleeves, but a very common upgrade is to eventually drill the track bar holes out, move to the bigger 16 millimeter bolts. And that is something that Carli has a slight edge on where they are included. So you're going to have a sleeve that goes through either end to reduce you down to the 14 millimeters. You slide that sleeve out of the track bar ends and you have a 16 millimeter track bar there. For the 2014 and up trucks, the Carli suspension track bar is going to include a stabilizer relocation bracket at the axle side. That's going to drop your steering stabilizer location. Carli found that at full compression, it was possible for the track bar to contact the steering stabilizer, hence they came up with that bracket. That about rounds out all of the differences between the track bars. One of the other things I do want to note is just going to be the overall serviceability of these bars, right? Whether you need to change a heim joint, you somehow damaged it, you lost a piece in installation, or somehow you wore out one of the frame side bushings or cub joints, all these parts are available separately and they're very easy to service. So it's a very nice option. A lot of other track bars on the market, you actually can't even find replacements. You're stuck buying a whole new bar, so on and so forth. That is just another reason why Carli Suspension and Thuren Fabrication are the two top brands in the Ram 2500 and 3500 space. I hope at the end of this video, I've helped you make a very informed decision on which track bar you want to go with. Whatever you go with these two brands, there's going to be no loser, right? Both of these track bars are extremely quality. Both are going to yield you a very long service life and going to be the strongest options on the market. So if you do have any questions still after watching this video, shoot us a call, send us an email, comment down below. We'll be happy to answer your question. We hope you guys like this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and we'll see you guys on the next one.